Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another live.
But it's a different sort of live because of the ears.
Welcome.
This is not your normal live.
Welcome to Elf on the Shelf with Zelf on the Shelf. I'm Elf.
And I'm also Elf.
And this is the letter Z. And if you're watching, you're on a shelf, and I hope you're enjoying it. How's it going? Are we good? Sound?
Yeah, I should probably check.
Audio, always nice to know. Banksy is just chatting it up today. Say hi, Banksy. Yeah. Banksy.
Yep. Sounds good.
He's just chirping away. You may notice something different about us. That's right. We got a little
camping over the weekend. Our aura's completely different now.
All my chakras are aligned. Mm-hmm. I watched Stop Making Sense today after my morning run while I was just cooking, and it got me in just a great frame of mind.
Morning run, Tanner.
Yeah.
I got to get back to that.
It's the perfect time of year. It's
Outside's
so nice
brave.
in the morning.
Oh, why does the thought of someone just perceiving me while running outside feel so stressful to me? It didn't. I used to run at home in England, and it didn't. It doesn't there.
It makes you feel like a deer hunted for sport.
Yeah, it does.
Well, don't wear that. Don't wear the ears.
That's how I do my best runs. Yeah, I've never seen Tanner look at me with such admiration as when I put these ears on.
Yeah, I love it. I am obviously fully considering getting my ears surgically altered to be forever Elven, but I think I like the versatility of the off and on because I kind of wish all bodily appendages were removable and interchangeable. I think that'd be really fun and might be part of the techno-conscious future of the species. We'll see if we make it that far.
It does feel like they really suit me.
Yeah, they do. You're so Lochlorian right now.
Yes. Someone said an excuse to further put off my PT exercises, which yes. And also, if any of you guys have anything you need us to excuse you not doing, feel free to share that at any point in the stream because I feel like that's our specialty.
Also, if you need to do this during your PT exercises, we're more than happy to direct the focus of this whole thing and to encourage you along the way. So
yeah, because sometimes I just think stacking the hard thing with some dopamine.
Yeah.
Through two elves saying nice things in your ears.
Yeah, we are elf stacking today and productivity maxing, okay? We're all cleaning out our closet or doing the spreadsheet or whatever thing that we got to do right now. And in this case, ours is chat here with Banksy and you guys. But, the rest of, what are you doing? What are you up to? And let us be there with you. We're holding your hand. We're telling you it's going to be okay.
Yeah. What is everybody up to? What's everyone been up to? How's everyone's mental state doing? Mine's just okay.
Well, I am growing in leaps and bounds because I didn't start cutting my hair at 12:40 when I was supposed to leave at 12:45, like the hobgoblin in my brain told me to.
You're normally doing an actual trim before.
I was like, no, I can do that later. The responsible thing is to just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
because why do you want it shorter anyway?
Well, it's back here. I just wanted to trim it a little bit, and I am gonna trim through here. Pride is coming, and I want to have a settled, nice short. I like where it is, but just want to be a little dialed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we have a topic for this week's live stream.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the topic.
And we're never too married to a topic in these live streams. We'll do a tangent at any point to read a super chat and talk about something else for 25 minutes. But
polytopical.
Polytopical. The thing we're sort of talking about today is, damn it, I forgot the name of the Bob that made it again.
Cratchit? I believe it was Cratchit.
They had such similar. Oh.
I have a theory that everybody in the world has an Uncle Bob.
Wasn't it Robert Keegan? Is that the right name?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. There was this American developmental psychologist called Robert Keegan who... Oh, also Tanner's going to be doing a swimsuit try-on haul at some point in this video. So don't think it's all philosophy.
Some of us got PT exercises too. I just need.
Oh, you're doing elf stacking. So there's this guy called Robert Keegan who came up with the 5 stages of psychological development. And that's kind of what we wanted to chat through a little bit today because it's kind of interesting. It's sort of like a, James Fowler's Stages of Faith. We always talk about that. This is more like less religion focused, faith focused, and more just like general stages of adult thinking.
But still all the fun of having a categorization system and labels for people and things, which we love. Tired of astrology. I'm tired of Hogwarts houses. I'm tired of Myers-Briggs. I want to know, what is your Uncle Bob stage of consciousness?
Literally. The reason this was on my mind today was because I watched a TikTok from a girl whose handle is Wantanamera, and she was just talking about this, and I was like, that is just an interesting model I hadn't heard of before.
Can we just quickly acknowledge that we did a whole other video before this, and Banksy did not join us for it. He came exactly when it was time to start the live stream. He knows, because cats are a portal to the...
Yeah, he knows when it's a live versus a recorded video. What the hell?
Keepers of the DMT-ville, and they know.
In the Alex O'Connor, Annika Harris interview about consciousness today, they were talking about how if you isolate the left and right parts of people's brains and you give the right side of the brain, you tell it to get up and walk across the room. But then I might be explaining this badly, by the way, but basically the conscious mind won't have heard the command to walk across the room, but people will do it anyway. And then when you ask them why they did it, they always come up with a really confident reason explaining why, I needed the bathroom, but it's they were being the experiment was making them do it every time, but they always had it wasn't I don't know why I did that. It was a really solid, that's definitely why I did that. But they were all just doing it because the other part of their brain or whatever was being told to.
What was telling us to live stream today?
Exactly.
Was it Banksy?
The ears. The wisdom of the ears is no normal live
They fully Spider-Man goblin masked us.
I think so.
They've Jim Carrey the masked us. Wow, masks are kind of nefarious.
Yeah.
Wow. But ears, just tricksterly.
But don't you think that's so weird that he just knew that this was a live stream versus an edited video? There's no difference in terms of the setup.
I wonder if he feels more comfortable around us when our ears are pointed, if we look more like him.
Yeah. Okay. Please make him dance. This guy?
Give this mouse a cookie.
Thank you, Roxanda. I'm going to start putting the super chats on the screen
That's so fun. Yeah.
Well, I am a permissive parent, so I can't make him do anything. I don't have kind of the disciplinary authority with him, but Banksy, thoughts on dancing? He had a horrible experience in a TikTok dance cult a few years ago, so that might be playing into his hesitation. He swore he'd never dance again.
He's told me that no dance is a form of dance, that the absence of dance is itself a dance. It's kind of like a play on space and form. It's so transcendent. It's literally stage 7.
7,000.
And if you stick around to the end of this video, we are going to actually drop
we'll
a
be
new
adding
stage.
Our own stages, yeah.
Because we just discovered a new one, and we're so excited to share it with our most loyal friendship group here.
Yes. All right, let's get into these stages, which may just end up being a 5-minute segment of the video, and then we'll shoot the shit. But stage 1, according to this model, is the impulsive mind, which is egocentric. And at this stage, individuals are primarily concerned with their own needs and desires. They have limited empathy and struggle with impulse control. Elephant in the room, that's sounding a lot like Banksy. Though I don't know if the stages is the same for cats, because Banksy is the highest form.
Yeah, he embodies all stages simultaneously.
Yeah. Thoughts about stage 1, the impulsive mind, egocentric. Kids are
so
not
fun.
Kids toxic, no empathy. Every child a narcissist. That's actually true.
Yeah.
Because what is a narcissist but just a child who was stunted?
Yeah. Or just hasn't developed proper boundaries or self-awareness, or
like it's developmentally normal to be very narcissistic as we're growing up. Wow, that's a thread that I bet runs through all of this. It's just like the more you think of others, the more mature you are, probably.
Every time I hear a baby cry, I'm like, you're just doing it for the attention.
Yeah.
You literally just like have to be the center of attention.
But when I cry to a police officer for trying to give me a ticket for kayaking without a life vest, doesn't work. White woman's tears, useless. No longer effective, apparently.
Wow.
I know.
Did you tell them that you were number 9 on Philosophy Substack?
No, I was unfortunately getting into the weeds of fascism more than I should have for the incident due to all
Did
the
they love that?
Oh yeah, that went down a real treat. Brought Anne Frank twice, I think. No. I know. You kind of had to be there. It was a bit, I have to have compassion for myself.
That's all we can do.
I was day drunk at the beach. I had no idea this was going to happen. And yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear about your
just because I didn't give the context. There was a BYU student that had their visa revoked for a fishing citation. So like my mind just immediately went to like, oh my God, I'm going to get put in ICE detention. And so I was really freaked out. All right. So stage 2, the imperial mind, ethnocentric. In this stage, individuals identify strongly with their social groups such as family, tribe, or nation. They conform to group norms and often view outsiders with suspicion.
You're just talking about being a God-fearing citizen in the United States of God Bless America.
God, guns, and what's the third one? Not the woke book, but like
God, guns, and Gooby Gone.
God, guns. And Mitt Romney's favorite meat is hot dog.
Yeah, hot dog.
Really, I don't think he's that crazy for that.
Okay, a hot dog around a campfire. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like, in any other context, though, I would be hard pressed to schlarp down a dog.
That's so true. It is exclusively a campfire thing. Or like if it was on a grill, a barbecue.
Well, I don't know. Like a good solid. I don't know. I'm not as much of a hater as I used to be.
No, me neither.
But like a nice broth or something. That'd be great.
Okay, so stage 3 is the socialized mind, which is world-centric. Individuals at this stage develop a greater capacity for empathy and begin to question societal norms. They seek fairness and justice on a broader scale and are open to diverse perspectives. I kind of see stage 3 as like neo-lib. Like you're starting to care about the ways that society is impacting different people. And
I feel like this is like reminding me of high school, getting ready to college. I'm like opening up and asking people kind of about their political beliefs. I don't have anything to, or just world things, and kind of opening up, talking to new kinds of people. And
I guess even when I was Mormon and going to college, I did still care about fairness and justice. It's just that my sense of what that might look like was warped by Mormonism and also by immaturity, developmentally normal immaturity.
Yeah. Got really into folk music at the time. And, that whole scene. So that makes sense with all that. Just got directed into being a full-time Mormon, unfortunately.
Yeah. This is a pretty short list. So stage 4.
Whoa, we're already in stage 4. We're cruising.
I know, I'm right. We didn't need to do like a whole giant video. Stage 4 is the self-authoring mind, inner-centric. At this stage, individuals develop a strong sense of self and personal values. They can hold their own beliefs while respecting others' viewpoints. They are goal-oriented and can adapt to various roles.
We love stage versatility. It's like, can you wear many hats? Can you?
Like this whole list, like even stage 5, it's like these things don't seem like particularly rare. Like this does seem like a pretty normal way that adults would develop with time. But it is just interesting how much like even like respecting others' viewpoints, you would think that would be like so obvious that like that's a quality we should all have, but it actually isn't, because of that like James Fowler stage 3 of faith, where it's like, no, it's actually toxic potentially to empathize with others' perspectives too much, or like.
I mean, there's a reason they're demonizing empathy right
Mhm.
now. And by they, I mean Elon Musk and others.
Right. It's like, it just seems so obvious to me. And I imagine to a lot of people that like, yeah, respecting others' viewpoints, having empathy for people with different, like those are just like basic parts of being a mature, just a mature adult. But now yeah, it's just crazy how much people with so much power, it's just immaturity.
Yeah.
Coming through in all of it.
And so we've got stage, what is it, 2, 3 running the show right now?
We've got a full stage 2 in the White House. That's a joke.
Stage
He's obviously
2.
a stage 9.
Yeah, that's where it comes back full circle. And we're at the pre-stage, in fact, where it's just nothing is real, nothing matters.
Flowing like a river downstream, eroding as you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of scary. I guess I'm also just thinking a lot about narcissism and just how, like, again, this is also obvious, but just narcissism is kind of when people get sort of stunted, stuck in that childlike psychological development stage. And so they genuinely, their brains can't often have empathy for others or see things outside. Like they are kind of stuck in that, in a stage that is developmentally normal until a certain age, but like didn't get the chance to grow beyond that. And like that sucks for them.
That does suck.
It also sucks that we all have to like deal with narcissistic behavior in our society, but it's like, it just sucks for everyone involved. And like a lot of people are narcissistic, and it's like, that's just what happens when you don't get those certain conditions met. And a lot of people didn't have them met, which is so upsetting, and we're not really like fixing it. And if anything, we're doubling down on more of those like earlier styles of thinking where it's like more tribal, more certain that our views are right.
But don't worry, illiteracy is on the rise.
That's going to be good. That's going to be really good. Everyone's just going to become like monk-like and just, again, so one with life. Just flowing wherever the algorithm says to go.
Yeah. That's my dream future, just an algorithm being like, stand up, move to your left. Cha-cha, real smooth.
Well, you'll have reasons for every single one that you'll believe you authored yourself.
Yeah, self-authoring, isn't that one of the official stages?
Yeah.
Which stage is it? 5?
That's 4.
4.
Yeah, that's when you can hold your own beliefs while also being like, okay, I was trying to think of an example. Someone who's got some good points. Can't think of a single person with some good points right now.
I've never heard a single good point. I'm wondering if a person who I might consider, a very traditional, full on, what's the ethnocentrist, who's like, that's my people, like, stage 2er. Do you think that they might see themselves as a stage 6er? They're like, no, I literally have transcended all the like bullshit systems. I've integrated the complexities, and I have literally just arrived at the best opinions, and people are just simply fools for not being on my level.
It's a tough one, because I do feel like a true stage 2 person would be like, I'm not going to respect stupid viewpoints, like those viewpoints are just stupid. So I don't know whether they would read that they can respect others' viewpoints, which is stage 4 or 5. I don't know whether they would even like agree with the model necessarily, because they'd be like, you shouldn't have to respect, it's like the whole like empathy is toxic thing,
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about how empathy can be toxic in the realm of like abuse and people pleasing and that, but I don't think that's what...
You don't even buy into my system that I'm using to categorize you as lower on a linear hierarchy than me? What the fuck?
Stage 5 is the self-transforming.
So stage 2 of you.
I mean, there are like concrete ways you can tell to a certain degree. Like if someone is intensely tribal, some people you can just have more.
They've got the flag in the back of their truck.
I mean, yeah, there's like 6 of the flag. Stage 5, the self-transforming mind, integral or global centric.
Or they've got a full K-pop wall, that's it's on all sides.
Yeah. Individuals at this is stage 5, the best one. Individuals at this, well, in theory, a stage that we would all reach with the right conditions being met. Like in a healthy psychological development trajectory, this is where people end up.
We're just all dreaming of that sweet stage 5.
I know, like conditions being met, could it be me? Individuals at this stage have a holistic worldview. They're comfortable with ambiguity, paradox, and multiple perspectives. They seek interconnectedness and are committed to personal and societal growth.
Yeah. Emotional calculus, emotional intellectual calculus, the big leagues.
Yeah.
Operating, banging on all cylinders.
Yeah.
They're holding paradoxes. They're delving into the mysteries. They're reaching out with love and kindness.
Oh, that reminds me of a really good article I read today on Substack. And it was, what was the article called? I'm so bad with this stuff. But it was basically just talking about how, I mean, essentially the vibe of the piece was like, just because you get a spiritual impression doesn't mean that like your exact take on it is the correct one. Like it was talking about how easily people can, you know, they have these various like frameworks, symbols, whatever that they're using. And like, just because like your initial interpretation isn't necessarily the right one. It's like there's a lot of the time our brains, one of the questions she posed in the piece was like, would you feel just as comfortable owning this desire that you clearly have if there was no like spiritual message that was sent to you to do it, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so she was, apparently there's been this big scandal in the New Age community because like some guy who's a big deal said he was commanded by the goddess Isis to like take more wives. Kelly told me about it, and then it was mentioned in the Substack. So I'm like, this seems to be making
in a cult,
waves.
in a New Age cult?
Yeah, I can't remember who it is. Let
the
me
goddess
look it up.
Isis commanded you to take more wives. Men just can't come out as polyamorous these days. It's always got to be some big
I know
alien
it's
from
be the goddess
Neptune.
Isis.
Yeah, somebody. Or Elohim the polygamist from Kolob. Like it's always got to be somebody who's like, hey, this is crazy. It's like, just why not like, I don't know, Robert from Reddit be like, hey, have you ever tried ethical non-monogamy? And you're like, yeah, Robert from Reddit really introduced me to this new concept.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really.
Yeah, that's what this piece is talking about. Like and this is something I've been writing about on my Substack, is like you got to start owning your desires. Like you don't have to act on all of them, but you've got to start knowing what they are. Or a lot of people in like spiritual idea, it's like your subconscious is going to like use that, and then you're not going to quite get that it's like you just have this desire to do this thing.
First two rules of elfing. Know thyself. Know thyself.
Know thyself.
And to own thyself.
Yeah, well said. So this is from a Substack article called Your Subconscious is a Little Freak. Amazing title, from someone called Rosie Peacock. When messages from God sound suspiciously like your ego in a cape. This whole article is so good. I'll link this in the description box of this video after the stream.
Sorry.
No, go.
I'm just never going to not imagine my ego as wearing a cape. That's so funny.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So some of the things I liked from this post, she said, literalization is what happens when you take an internal symbol crafted by your subconscious to help you process something emotionally complex and outsource its meaning entirely to the cosmos. Instead of engaging with it, feeling it, questioning it, discerning it, you sanctify it. You place it on an altar and swear fealty to it as if that symbol now has a will of its own, as if it came from somewhere higher, wiser, more trustworthy than your own body, your own knowing. And let's be honest, this often feels safer. It's much easier to say, I'm being guided to end this relationship, than to say, I've outgrown this and the idea of hurting someone I love makes me want to vomit. It's easier to say, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the symbols our subconscious presents to us aren't divine mandates, they're invitations. They're riddles to be sat with, not scripts to be performed word for word. This feels so stage 5 of her.
So maybe even stage 6.
Maybe even, yeah.
Or do stage 6, you just simply hold up a flower instead of
writing.
writing.
You won't be speaking. I don't think. When we forget this, when we interpret every vision as law and every inner whisper as sacred instruction, we lose the capacity to think critically, to feel deeply, and to our own wants without needing the cosmos to co-sign them. Really liked that. Spiritual literalism is in some ways a crisis of confidence, a crisis of intimacy with ourselves. Easier to follow a spirit guide than admit we want something messy or taboo or socially inconvenient. Easier to say.
Speaking my language, I'm loving this.
I know that you got to get on Substack. There's nothing wrong with signs, symbolism, visions. The issue is when we refuse to sit in the ambiguity long enough to interpret them, when we use spirituality as a loophole around hard choices, when we stop translating metaphor and start blindly obeying it. Just so well
Love.
said.
Yeah.
So well said.
Love that.
So well said.
Love that.
It's like just because sort of a feeling is strong in us and it feels like there's some kind of spiritual significance to it, some like higher, it's like that doesn't have to be, I don't know. She had that question of like, would you be just as willing to pursue this if you knew it came from you?
Yeah.
Rather than from God or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's what you got to be. Because I think we'll sometimes use sort of spiritual significance that we feel around things as like an excuse to maybe like not fully think them through or consider the implications or like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Or just the opposite as well. Sometimes, you make little connections or, if you're of a poetic mind, some symbol, some poetry, you're like, oh, this is a beautiful lesson. This thing I've encountered like perfectly encapsulate this principle or way of living that I can now express. And that sometimes is good. It's obviously good for you, but like sometimes that's not the right advice for somebody else, like sometimes somebody needs to hear something entirely different, the exact opposite sometimes.
Yeah.
And so if you have like hold that too dear of like, this is this universal truth that I now understand, it's not, it's still like an objective or a subjective truth where it's useful.
Especially because there's also like levels of understanding we all have to move through to learn different things. And so sometimes it's easy to be like, just like jump from there to there. Like I have this answer. And it's like, that's not really how it works though. Like people have to, like we're all moving at our own pace and things are being revealed to us in layers. And yeah. Is that a tangent from what you said?
I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just own it. And know it, own it, bow it. The 3 rules of elfing.
Yep.
Someone said bow and arrowing is the 3rd.
I also liked the line, when a message boosts your identity instead of softening it, it might be more about inflation than insight.
Ugh.
If that doesn't describe so much of like, I guess, more immature thinking. Yeah.
I know that it's just common vernacular or whatever, but I really don't like that we call ego death experiences ego deaths.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think that's at all what's happening. If anything, it's like your ego expands so far that you no longer can see it. And you're like, oh, I don't have an ego anymore. And you can like experience a sort of egoless, ego dissolved or ego repressed state.
Yeah.
Which is really beneficial. But I think I've just seen too many people who, after psychedelics or a spiritual awakening or something, like feel like in a way they kind of all have it all figured out and their ego is like permanently in check and whatever now. And it's like, or did it just get bigger and you no longer recognize it or can know the boundaries of it anymore? Yeah.
And I mean, it's also like you can have a temporary experience of like ego quieting or disillusion or whatever. But it's just absurd to think that that's now the permanent state that you're in. Like, that's not how we're built to be. So you got to realize that. Like, you might be able to like now think back to what it feels like to not center yourself so much in the way you think. But you have to like consciously keep working to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very easy for people to just, it's like our obsession with permanence, like with everything. Like people have one experience and like feel this enlightenment. And it's like, you may have had genuine, enlightening insights or whatever, but you still got to like integrate them. You still got to be a human. There's still so much more to learn. I don't know. It's just like silly to think that there's this final state of enlightenment, isn't it?
Yeah. Enlightenment's just being here. Nirvana's just here, just being present, locked in like Banksy.
One moment to the next. And there is no permanent self anyway. So that's why you can't say that you like became enlightened or like killed your ego.
There's no permanence at all. Everything's transformation. Everything that is constantly transforming.
And also, Tana, it's paradox.
We're moving up some stages, I feel like.
It's paradox and it's let me see. It's global centric.
Global centric. I'm always centering the globe. I'm like, guys, can we talk about the globe for a second? for real, on national holidays, I'll be like, well, what's the global holiday? What hit me? Let's
It's
get
just
to
more
stage
from the
6.
same post.
Let's
No,
hit
there is
me.
no stage 6. There's only 5 in that model.
Oh my god.
We already got there.
We already got there.
5 is like interconnected, paradoxical, comfortable with ambiguity, multiple perspectives.
That felt like the Masonic pyramid on the back of the dollar that's like going up and then it's just like space. And now we're just this all-seeing eye.
I swear I reached ego death on laughing gas at the dentist. Yeah, and honestly, maybe you did. And I love that.
A lot of people find God in the dentist's office, I guess.
Oof, who? Not the dentists themselves. They are killing themselves more than any other type of person.
Yep, that's real. And I have so many thoughts about it. And also, we don't have to get into it. And also,
feels kind of similar to the rehearsal season 2.
We should do that for dentists.
Yeah.
Nathan Fielder, fixed dentists.
Fixed dentists next.
Wow.
Stage 6 is joining himself on the show on Patreon.
Yeah, literally.
That is so true and beautiful. I only hang out with other global people.
Yeah, if you're not a citizen of this globe, then...
Yeah. Being intensely tribal about our Patreon actually isn't stage 2 because it's just that it's such a stage 5 space that it's good that we, reject outsiders.
I literally do not speak to people who are not patrons.
No, they don't feel global enough.
No, they don't.
It's like, I'm looking to think global, shop local.
Global, yes. Noble, you out.
Yep. Thank you, Sarah. Just saying hi.
Wow.
Hi.
Hello.
So nice.
You seemed so global today, and congratulations on that.
What's going on with dentists? They have a high suicide rate.
They do.
Basically the thing.
They do. And as somebody who has both dentistry and suicidality in their family history, I think, and I've had people say to me that as they've struggled with depression and things, that it's hard because most people don't want to see you. They just show up being oh, the torture murder guy who's just going to poke metal into my mouth and make me feel guilty about my habits and charge me a bunch of money. And and then because it's a teeth thing, there's this desire to always be smiling and always needing to be on and really personality, even if you're not feeling good inside. And yeah, I'm sure that just takes its toll.
My dentist is so hot. And honestly, pro tip, have a hot dentist. Never considered that, but that is actually genius.
And I've also met dentists who really love the human body and the intricacy of it all.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I feel like to be a dentist, you kind of need that to be your hyperfixation. Same with being a pilot. You kind of want a pilot that's obsessed with airplanes.
Yeah.
Which I just feel like autism helps.
Yeah. Oh, who else has watched the rehearsal finale? Wow.
I can't imagine having a hot dentist. It's actually never even occurred to me.
Wait, what?
Someone said they had a hot
dentists are kind of historically hot.
Dentists?
I say that
I
as
feel
someone
like
with a
they're
family
good-looking 50-year-olds. For a 50-year-old, they are.
Yeah,
good, but they're very plain.
Sure.
They don't have a lot of
They're not bad boy edgy.
I don't imagine dentists as a particularly erotic people. If I had to guess, I feel like there's some of them are quite personable. They're not all stiff, are they?
No, I feel because they have to be kind of they have to kind of be extroverted usually because they're talking. They have to be talking to people while they're got their hands in people's mouths, So, and you want people to trust you and be chill with you as you're reaching in there.
Becca said, my dentists have all been cold and aloof, which I sort of relate to a bit more, but it's true that the hygienists are so friendly. They're
oh yeah.
I'm still this hygienist that I had once was a girl that I had cried to in the club on Friday night, 3 days before.
Yeah, dental hygienists are
10.
great to cry to in a club.
Yeah.
Perfect archetype.
That's who you want to go through a breakup with. Thank you to Ashley for the super chat.
My mom's a dental hygienist.
Your mum is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was all through a significant part of my young childhood.
So could she clean your teeth for you?
She could. I think she might be unlicensed at this point. She did keep it up all through my childhood.
I didn't realize there was so much dentist hate. I've always liked going to the dentist. And growing up, I felt like that was the gold standard for marrying well.
I like it now as an adult. I'm like, oh, I would just love to go get my teeth all
I don't,
cleaned
because
up.
I feel like they're going to be like, you need 2 root canals.
That is a scary prospect. And maybe I just would rather not know, but it's better to know. It's better to know.
I'm in a stage with the dentist right now where I'm like I'm like a month overdue for my yearly cleaning. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to avoid it. But then it's like, you are supposed to get the cleanings for your teeth out.
I went a decade the last time and was fine,
fine?
no cavities. So I'm like,
That's what happened to Jared.
What's the rush?
And I'm like, when I went last year, I didn't need any fillings. So I'm like, so there's probably not a root canal that needs to happen. I've been better than ever about my oral hygiene this year.
I just know I'm going to need a gum transplant at some point in my life, and that is terrifying.
No evidence that a dentist is more likely to kill themselves. Damn it. Have we spread misinformation about dentists again?
Yeah, maybe.
Are dentists, I thought they were one of the highest groups.
I refuse to cite sources.
I'm looking it up.
As a stage 6, I am not obligated.
Okay. This says studies indicate that dentists may have a higher risk of suicide compared to the general population, although the exact statistics and the extent of the differences are debated. Apparently, there's a higher risk of suicide among healthcare professionals in general. Wow, what? Hold it with a pinch of salt. It's true and it's not true. Hold it as a paradox. We're not really sure. Be comfortable with the ambiguity of how true that dentist stuff was.
Yeah. Just check in on your dentists. And if they're doing well, good for them.
There's this really terrible suicide prevention poster on I-15 right now. And I'm just like, what? Like,
who terrible suicide prevention?
Not terrible, like insensitive, but you know, when basically the billboard just says, who do you know? Who do you know is in small letters, and then in big letters, that seems checked out. Who do you know that seems checked out? And it's like a suicide.
That's wrong.
I'm like, that's just the worst copy ever.
Yeah, that's bad.
Who do you know that? And also that seems checked out is big and the other bit isn't.
As a professional graphic designer, it is my delight to critique Utah billboards.
Yeah.
Always have loved it. Always will.
Julia Reagan missed in every moment. Remembered every minute.
Yeah. Beloved wife, grandmother. She's not just a wife. She's our grandmother, our mother.
Yeah. The patron saint of I-15 at this point.
Yeah. I really would donate to keep one of those billboards up forever.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, I would give to that cause. I love her. She was a stage 6er.
For sure. Stage 6, Julia Reagan.
Just billboards.
That's someone who is missed in every moment when they die.
Uh-huh.
Graphic design is Tana's passion.
Yep. Does this last stage 5 correlate with the Fowler stage 6?
Yeah, it does seem to, because that's probably the best correlation between the two models, because it's like universalist, it's like everything's interconnected. Nothing's like as firmly true or false as we tend to think, It's that same willy-nilliness towards life, but also combined with a kind of wisdom and empathy. And yeah.
I wouldn't know a thing about any of that.
Yeah. Would love to be willy-nilly someday.
Yeah. Well, is it time for the bathing suit portion of the video?
Yeah, and maybe I'll eat some chips.
Yeah.
I've been much more tired than normal for like the last 5 days, but not like sickness tired.
Have you been sun-soaked?
No, I think it might be kind of a low-grade spiritual depression with just the things that are going on and like the fear of the future and uncertainty. It's like, it's not debilitating, but there's just a kind of like, just kind of a wanting to step back from it all and just sleep. I'm usually like the last person that's like, oh, I just want to sleep. Like sleep to me is kind of like the worst. It's so boring. I'm having a craving for sleep that I don't normally have.
Maybe you need it.
But yeah, I think it could be a nice thing. Like it might help me soften. And I think it, in many ways, like I'm less anxious.
Yeah, literally relaxing your body.
Yeah. Like I think it's maybe like an intelligent response to like the anxiety I've been feeling lately.
Would you like to pull a tarot card?
Yeah. Like there's a wisdom in depression, like the literal, like let's like clamp this down a bit.
Yeah.
Let's bring it down. And I'm still live streaming in these outfits, so it's like it can't fully tear me down yet.
When I'm elf-splaining my own depression, I'm like, it's low energy. That's literally like the state I'm in. It's just being low energetic, and that's okay to be in a low energy time.
Welcome to old age. Yeah, and I get like 9 hours of sleep every night.
Wow.
My former profession at pharmacy has a very high suicide rate.
I think
this is a tarot for all of us. If this is your first time here.
The flame. And we are about moths. Am I right?
Got that one before.
Gang? What do you call a group of moths, by the way?
A flame. I do this deck all the time, and I don't think I've ever got this one. The flame. Oh my God. The fire, the spark, the glimmer. In Sanskrit, the word for fire is Agni. The ancient yogis saw this flame at the center of the abdomen and believed it to be responsible for our vitality. When it is lit, we are connected to our purpose and sense that life is a sacred gift. It is said that those who cannot see the sacred around them have let their inner flame go out. Think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten and protect the flame no matter how harshly the winds around you blow. It could be an inner archetype that begs you to light its wick. It's likely that the poet, the mystic, or the shaman would call to you with the language of the flame. When light, this card is health, mental clarity, good digestion. When dark, excess heat and anger, complete darkness. The archetypal fire is at the beginning of all transformation, purification, and manifestation. Nearly every spiritual lineage honors the flame. Does Mormonism have anything flame-based in it?
The
refining fire.
Spirit of God, like a
Yeah,
fire is burned. Yeah.
That's literally what this card said. The Spirit of God, like fire, is burning.
Yeah.
To enliven the connection with this archetypal energy, practice the candle gazing technique, where you make intimate eye contact with a candle for like half an hour. And then by the end, you're in love with the candle.
Because you are the candle. The separation between you, the essence of the candle and the essence of you disappear. This is feeling very Ram Dass, this whole thing.
That ritual is called Trataka. Notice how lighting a single candle in any space brings magic to the room and creates a sense of reverence. That's true. I light candles every night. When it gets dark.
So deep in our human little monkey brains to just adore the sight of a little fire.
Yeah.
And everything about it.
That's also what's good about camping.
Such a tool for us. And my thanks to Prometheus. He's still out there getting his liver at. So thank God for him. Oh, he's the one who stole the fire from the gods and gave it to us so that we could cook with it and shit.
I heard that apparently as we were evolving, like the conversations that we would have during the day, usually it was women that would talk during the day. Men were usually not talking as much. But women during the day would be exchanging like practical knowledge about like child rearing and like what to eat and like where dangers are, blah, 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 just like useful logistical information about staying alive. But then it was at night when we were around the campfire, the fire, that these sort of grander cultural stories would be told, like the stories that like unified everyone in the tribe. Or I just thought that was sort of interesting.
It makes so much sense.
Like that those types of things would be around the fire.
Yeah. Drumming and dancing and singing and telling stories. Yeah. It honestly sounds like the perfect night.
Yeah.
Every night. And you're camped up, holed up in a cave maybe.
Once in a while, a lion eats like two of you.
Yeah.
But a small price to pay for all the consistent drumming.
Yeah. Die by 30, but happy as hell. Maybe. I don't know.
Hard to know.
I'm really grateful for a warm shower personally.
Oh my God.
I trade it all.
I know.
What stage of development is that? Just
what?
At that point, just
like us when we were kind of tribal.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that being ethnocentric? If it's just your drum circle, your
See, it's like when we were evolving, I bet it was a lot easier to like the outsiders, you'd be suspicious of outsiders naturally. That makes sense. But then as you have experiences where outsiders are safe, that would kind of evolve in you. It's like you have to feel safety for your sort of like perception of reality to shift. And I feel like that's what's happening when people like are really narcissistic or excessively tribal way into like late adult development. It's like you've just never felt safe enough to trust an outsider.
Yeah.
You don't even trust yourself.
Yeah.
If you can't trust yourself, how can you trust an outsider?
So real. Yeah, if you can't trust the insider.
So they go for like the in-between, which is like, I can't trust myself and I can't trust the outsider. I can trust the authority guy in this thing that's like still within my circle.
Yeah.
But it's not me. I can take it out of me because that's not going to work.
This is great news in the chat that a group of moths is called an eclipse of moths. That's
a total eclipse of the moths.
Total eclipse of the moths.
Thank you guys so much. That is the best thing I've heard all day.
Turn around. Every now and then I feel a little bit flappy and like I'm covered in dust.
Sorry.
It's the chipping hour.
Sorry, it's the chipping hour.
Welcome to the mukbang. What's everyone's snack of the day? Bev's included. You know, I've been loving is the black cherry Waterloo seltzers.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
Like the LaCroix.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sweet and dry mango. I always get the unsweetened from Trader Joe's, and that is so sweet.
Yeah. And unfortunately, does a number on my insides gives me quite a gaseous response.
That sucks.
It does really suck because it's delicious and I love it.
Only dry mango? I just had deja vu. Have we talked about this before?
I'm sure we have. I'm always talking about my gastrointestinal issues on the show.
Well, if you were keeping the flame alive, then you would have good digestion. So I think maybe that's sort of the cure.
That is so real. Keep the flame alive, and then an eclipse of moths will come to me. Good moths.
My diet has been 80% chips and hummus lately.
I just had some chili garlic hummus.
Trader Joe's.
Smith's. Or some brand carried at Smith's.
I do like the San Pellegrino seltzer. I love how this live stream about. It was supposed to be us talking about good thinking, not a good thought in the chat. By the chat, I mean me and Tana.
Yeah, what are we doing trying to promote thinking at all? As far as I know, thoughts haven't produced anything good in this world. Objectively bad, every thought.
Need to accumulate orchards and stop relying on poison grocery products. An orchard would be sick.
Yeah. Oh. Can you imagine just snatching an apple off a tree and just chunking it? Sounds great.
Snack oatmeal.
Oh, I'm also about to open up to a poem.
Yeah.
Sam got me this Mary Oliver book for my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be reading passages.
What thought level is snacks? Maybe just like stage 1.
Hit me with your best snack.
We both went camping for Memorial Day.
Both got in water. So important.
Also, I really like the Trader Joe's ghost pepper chips. Name a Trader Joe's snack and I could tell you my opinion on it.
What's the Chris Fleming bit about the Trader Joe's snacks only women can see?
No, it's so true. I just don't think men have the creativity it takes to truly embrace a Trader Joe's.
Yeah, you have to be like fully invested in the world and like on the treasure hunt. Enjoy the delight.
And I'm just going to say this, and it's going to sound elitist. You got to be reading the Fearless Flyer, or you're not going to be able to spot all the new products. They don't.
What?
The Fearless Flyer, the Trader Joe's magazine that comes out every month.
Is it a magazine?
Pick up a copy at your, yeah. They just basically list all their like seasonal stuff. And it's quite useful because sometimes you just would never know that something existed. Chocolate covered sea salt butterscotch, kill me.
I decided last night I'm about to make a mean grasshopper pie.
What's grasshopper pie?
It's the like Oreo crust, mint ice cream, caramel. I'm gonna do a little lemon drizzle.
Are you still gonna make me a stroganoff?
Yeah. You want a birthday strogie?
Yeah. Hi, Ray.
Oh my God. I had a dream that we took a trip and met Ray.
Oh my God. That makes sense.
We like showed up at Ray's mansion and we were like, Ray lives here.
Wow.
Yeah. So Ray's made it in deep in the subconscious. Congrats.
Well done, Ray.
Has it hanging in the astral realm. All right. I'm just going to kind of tarot this. Oh my God. I saw the word orchard. Someone just said orchard. The other kingdoms.
Can I pee while you read?
Yeah. I will be reading for this moment's pee break.
I'll listen on my phone.
If you hate nature poetry, take this time to use the restroom. This is called The Orchard. I have dreamed of accomplishment. I have fed ambition. I have traded nights of sleep for a length of work. Lo, and I have discovered how soft bloom turns to green fruit, which turns to sweet fruit. Lo, and I have discovered all winds blow cold at last, and the leaves, so pretty, so many, vanish in the great black packet of time, in the great black packet of ambition, and the ripeness of the apple is its downfall. I'm not gonna lie, I was more dedicated to just getting all the words out than I was to like fully retaining what's going on there. But it seems like she's done it all. You know, she's worked really hard and discovered that for what is it all about? The ripeness of the apple, I guess. English majors, this is where you come in. Hit us with your best analysis. Brat coated. Apples are. Oh, Sam, have you been watching live from the restroom? Yeah. Wow. Have you been commenting?
English major dropout right here. Brat coded. I think. Oh, sorry, that was a nightmare. What was it? The apple's ripeness is its downfall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like its impermanence once again. Every Mary Oliver poem is basically about that. But like, you can become the very thing that you need to be, and nothing's a final resting place. Kind of relevant to the video a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, then it's your time to fall. Like, all things must continue transforming, which ultimately means our death, which we should confront. But you know what I mean? Yeah.
We're just all apples out there, ripening, plumpeting, and sweetening until we eventually fall from the tree and rot. And our rotting lives to either intoxicate a stray donkey or ferment the ground around us so that the tree can produce next year's harvest of fresh new apples.
I'm like, ferment me. Let's move forward.
Have me, wild donkey. Enjoy a brief inebriation. Apples, bees, apple bees, food, honey, honey bees, honey apples, honey crisp apples,
Crisps,
chips, simply. And that is what's called a poem. if you just put random spaces between your words and just like, oop, new paragraph here between a sentence, that's just poetry.
That's half of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't even have to
Oh my
rhyme or
God,
nothing.
Tana, we are 54 minutes in. We haven't honored Fernando at StreamYard Dark.
Oh my
this
God,
is the
if
worst
we
we've ever
make
done.
it alive through the night, it'll be a miracle.
Oh, we've already got a comic debt to pay with him for reasons we can't say.
Fernando, you are always welcome here, and your presence is always greatly appreciated.
We liked when you came to us in our sleep the other night, though we may have seemed terrified.
Yeah. Just, if I had seen Ray and the StreamYard duck in the same dream, that would have been too much. I'd have been like, I need separation between my work life and my real life.
That's like a dream mood have tonight. It's like the Fernando duck is Ray, is the vision.
You been dreaming lately?
I've been dreaming, yeah. Nothing too crazy one way or the other, which is always quite nice. You know, like kind of vaguely interesting dreams, but nothing particularly bad or particularly crazy is happening.
Ideal.
Uh-huh.
Don't want any crazy things. I'll take a nice thing. I'll take a nice dream, obviously. But I think that's where I've been, because I've just been like sleeping well and forgetting my dreams when I wake up.
I've been weirdly sleeping really well since my depression is set in. It's really a nice change from the insomnia.
Do you think the subliminals work?
Yeah. Kind of. Like Andrew Major's hypnosis.
I tried to do one of Andrew Major's the other night, but there's too much like shimmery music things, and I'm like, I need you to just like chill out.
See, I think I quite like the shimmery, and I love the shimmer of the Venmo Super Chat sound.
There is no sound more beloved, no tinkle.
And isn't it interesting? We didn't get our first Venmo Super Chat until we honored Fernando.
Whoa.
Thank you to Becca for being here again and super chatting. There was something in the air that night, the offering in reverence to Fernando.
Damn, it really was connected.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much.
And I'm not even surprised at this point. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Wow, we almost really effed it up. Superstitions wise, we could have
The stream had gone to the dogs until we had.
Yeah.
Now it's going to get so good. So don't click off ever.
We still haven't even revealed that there's yet another bonus stage that we'll be announcing to the Patreon subscribers.
What else is going on? Sorry, this is the worst possible personality for being on the internet in a live stream, but that's what we got.
Elves are as elves do, and we're doing what we're doing, and that's all anyone can ask of us. I've been thrifting here and there. I feel like I'm finally kind of knowing what to look for and how to find it.
Wow.
In our state's various thrift stores. So I found a couple new things, but then I find like 3 new outfits, and then I just wear those 3 on repeat forever until I'm tired of them, and then time to switch it up again. So
that's why I've been enjoying using Nuuly. It's a rental thing. Because I can just wear an outfit to death for a month, and then I'm sick of it, and then it's time to, instead of like buying new stuff or having to worry about buying new stuff.
Yeah.
I like it when people eat on streams. It's comforting. I'm glad, because I was wondering if it was insufferable.
A gentle little mukbang. What's a soft bang? I got nothing. A muck boom. A muck. Ah.
Muck bang. A muck tap.
A muck tap. A muck tap.
And that's who's going to be providing all the water for American citizens soon. Do you have a McTap?
I'm Florid McTap.
No McTap, no water. Sorry.
I'd McTap that. He says to everyone going around. Are we already fluoride-less? Do I need to like switch to the right toothpaste? How does that
Are
work?
you not using fluoride toothpaste? Because you should be anyway.
Oh, yeah. All that stuff I said about dentistry and
I think it's like
still know
way more
nothing.
important that it's in your toothpaste than it being in the water.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just brushed my teeth with what's that? The liquid of the children, the orphan brains, adrenochrome. I brushed my teeth with adrenochrome. It's like a nice, like a gel. It's delicious too. It's like orange sherbet flavored. It's just something fun about adrenochrome.
I'm just making toast.
Oh yeah, we got toast in the chat. Are the cats getting any better? Sam, how's the cat beef? I guess I shouldn't ask you while you're making toast.
Thank you so much for asking. It's definitely still ongoing, but there's been some small, since we've been back from camping, Jack hasn't been quite as scared and hiding constantly. Like this morning, he was like out on the bed for a few hours, which he hasn't been for a while. He's just been in a hiding spot, one of two. But then Banksy came up after a couple of hours, and just the sight of Banksy, Jack fled.
Oh,
So
it's crazy. Banksy's such a sweetie to me, but just because he's sweet to me doesn't mean he's not a jerk to other people. Yeah. Cass says that we have a fairy vibe. Yeah, it's elf fairy. I think after I made the wings for the music video, I was like feeling powerful about crafting stuff, and I think I want to make some fairy wings, and hopefully in time for Pride.
Stickelangelo
Stickelangelo
and Sandalangelo.
Michael Sangelo.
Michael Sangelo. Tanner did some incredible sculpting in the desert this weekend.
Oh yeah, I brought like acrylic paints and stuff, and I was like, it's so silly when there's just like a really good knife and some wood right here, and just feels fitting. I think I might get into woodworking. Zach gave me that a little wood cutting set, and
that makes so much sense.
it's
You're
fun to
so
do.
good with
like,
stuff like that.
I should try it a little bit more. I'm gonna start whittling on the channel. How about that?
Yeah,
that'll be fun. We should both. Are you interested in whittling?
I would never be able to whittle.
Okay.
My artistic sensibilities are just so stage one.
Well,
probably pre-stage.
Stage one, we need spears. We need spoons.
It's kind of crazy how much these stay on.
Yeah, right?
Like I imagine them being more.
We're not even spirit gummed.
You guys ever use public libraries? Oh yeah. I get tons of books from the library and then I keep them for way too long, but I always give them back eventually.
Yes. Yeah. Huge fan of the Salt Lake Public Library. It is both an architectural beauty, a delight to be in there, and an ode to humanity. And I want to go on the rooftop. Do you know if they're doing rooftop yoga this year? You did see it?
No, not in person.
Oh, I want to see it in person. Yeah, I love to go there. I've spent a lot of time there. Happy Gemini season. It's twins month, which is close. Pretty twins and orphans are they're similar. Twin orphans, watch out.
On this toast.
Yeah, thanks. A whittling live stream. Let's do it.
I'm a huge fan of fluoridated water, but it really only helps kids and teens. That makes sense.
Fluoridated water only helps kids and teens. And single mothers who are doing it all for their kids.
I think just like because if you have good oral hygiene as an adult, you don't need it. Or like the concentration is more significant to them.
Dwarfins.
That's what I thought. What's queer tarot cards? I thought all tarot cards were queer.
Redundant, yeah. I'm sure there's lots of queer themed ones. Prue said, Tanner, you did a painting live stream once on Instagram, and I'd love for something like that again. Okay.
Bring Your Art live stream is so cute.
I'm down.
but not good for those of us whose skills are like writing. Like that's my only.
Just typing away.
I don't have like a painting. I could do a bad painting though.
Could you chat and eat toast?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could make a.
It's just not enough to have a podcast or even just a normal mukbang. You gotta be whistling and tap dancing and showing cleave and everything that this industry demands of us. That our viewership is constantly demanding. They're constantly like, go put on your little bathing suit, try it on for us for the very first time, fresh
When
out
are
of the
you
packaging.
doing the bathing suit?
Well, as soon as everyone stops asking for it, so
He won't do it if we keep asking, guys.
it's probably whenever I have to use the restroom because then two birds, one stone kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should do a parody of a Flo Rida song called like about Flo Rida.
Sure they have.
Fluoride.
Fluoride in toothpaste is on the outside of your teeth. Fluoride ingested helps teeth that are still developing. Oh, the more you know.
Kenzie said, would love to hear more about what you did / thought in New York City as a longtime viewer. Well, I went to Prospect Park and Central Park, which were phenomenal. Would love to spend a month exploring each and maybe longer. And it just seems like there's so much just going on around. It was really fun. Went to Central Park at nighttime, which is scary but beautiful. It wasn't scary. It was scary at first because my only context for that was watching Home Alone as a child and being told that kids are scared of the park. And so
Probably because RFK Jr. was putting dead bears in there as a joke.
Yeah, literally. That was my biggest fear. I was like, what if RFK Jr. is here like scouting meat? And I don't want to deal with it. Anyway, that was fun. Went to the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens, which was really spectacular. Went to Washington Square Park right before Lorde dropped her new song. I was like, oh, it could have been me. Could have been there. That was so fun. Went to the Empire State Building, which was really cool. Saw the sunset there, which is wonderful. I'm getting tinnitus in my elf ear.
Are you?
Yeah. What else? Yeah. Saw some shows. Saw O'Mary, which was lovely. Saw.
How much of what you know is simply not true? Probably like most of it. Yeah. Are you all going to Pride this year? I would imagine so.
Where is Pride?
Except it's like going to just everything sounds so exhausting to me lately. Like the thought of like partying in any way or being in large groups is like, I don't know if I have it in me.
I don't usually go to the festival, but I like rollerblading around the parade. And that's why I want to get my fairy or something costume together. And I don't know, every year I'm like, this is going to be the year that we go buck wild for Pride. But then it's like everything just actually costs more because then they like charge queers to get into queer spaces. And then it's like, I wonder if there's any way to enjoy this without money. So maybe I'll throw a little Pride party or something. I don't know. We'll see.
A lot of having to pay for spaces under this type of society.
Yeah. And I get it. You got a business, you do a special event, you bring in a drag queen from Drag Race and they have a rate and it's worth it and it changes your life forever. I get that. So, but I just have like kind of a love-hate relationship. I think that's why the parade is so fun. It's just fun being like, oh, everybody is out doing this thing. The parade itself, maybe there's some cool stuff in it, but I'm kind of underwhelmed by parades usually. It seems kind of like just not exactly what I'm looking for, but I do like, a sea of people. It's fun. I love to see a sea of people.
Oh, not me.
Kind of weave through a sea of people. It's nice.
You're good at weaving. Tanner, I go to ecstatic dance sometimes in my city. I'm turned off by some cultural aspects. Don't blame me. Do you ever encounter gender roles at e-dance, divine feminine / masculine, and does it bother you?
Yeah, well, great. I hear that and I like when it's like feels a bit more secular, as it were. Which the one here on at clubhouses. Feels like that's really great. And I have encountered that and have been like, oh, wah, wah, wah. I also realize that it's one of those like subjective things, and maybe like a person's full encapsulation of gender or whatever may not be fully expressed there, and that single person expressing that doesn't represent a whole group of beliefs. I know in spaces like that, especially where people aren't talking as much, you literally are not allowed to talk on the dance floor at ecstatic dance. It's one of the rules: no phones, no talking, no shoes. And so you're not really quite getting to know people unless you're hanging out afterward or before something. And so you kind of are just like brushing up against your impressions or projections of people in a lot of ways. And I know that some people in like closing circle will talk about some of the like insecurities that come up as you deal with that, of like, what are people thinking about me? And I'm don't feel comfortable moving. And then kind of working through that and realizing like no one's paying attention. Nobody is like judging me. Like everyone's just doing their own thing, which is why it's so great. But yeah, so maybe, yeah, a single person may not, because I've also had experiences where people have been really, really cool about gender ambiguity and gender fluidity and yeah, gender queerness all around. So, and know a few like gender queer of various shades, trans, etc., people who participate and are very welcomed in the space. So it can kind of depend location to location, person to person.
It seems like people that are really new to like more sexually liberated communities, which like it's a wide range of people go to e-dance, it seems like, but like generally speaking, I'd say that
it's kind of like I'd say it's like kind of new agey leaning, new age leaning.
But that's generally like much more sexually liberated as a culture than, you know, what a lot of people came from, especially around here. But it seems like in those spaces sometimes newcomers can like really not understand like consent and how that, like I've heard of just from friends that go to e-dance, like sometimes there's just like weird consent stuff that can come up because it's like people are like, oh great, this is a really like open and free community, but obviously that, you know, doesn't mean you can just like encroach on someone's space and all that.
And the nice thing about it is really like intentional, and usually like it's not like a club or something where no one's drinking, for one, which is nice. And then they do like start with an opening circle, and they have the intention, and they walk you through like the process of like everyone's here for their own thing, and if you're interested in like dancing with someone, here's like the gestures you can make to like seek that out. If you don't get it, be on your way. It's not personal. I don't think
I've ever gone to the open circle. I think when I've gone, I've just kind of joined in at some point in the night.
Yeah, I've usually come a little bit late, but I've been going more recently and really enjoying like doing the full thing, and it's been nice. Get more of the like kind of community vibe to it, which is nice. Connect more on that personal level. So yeah, as far as gender thing, it kind of goes both ways. But in Salt Lake, I feel like most people are pretty like pro-queer, pro-trans, and divine masculine and feminine are kind of just seen as maybe like two ends of a polarity that are constantly interchanging to various degrees within all individuals and within relative reference points, culture to culture as well. So words, right?
Yeah, sick of them. It's every bloody one of them.
But I do kind of feel like what that thing that you're reading earlier about like attributing to the divine what you find within yourself, the whole like divine masculine, divine feminine. I just don't. I'm like, what even is that? Why is that divine masculine? We don't say like divine left and divine right, or it's just like
we could though. You know? No, but honestly, like there's, you know, like the thing of like in a society, we need people who are conservative in the sense that they're like more about like protecting what was already been built or what is, and then we need people that are like progressive and, you know, interested in like pushing to change. Like in a healthy society, we could have a balance of those, and it would be sort of in harmony in a way that like benefits the whole. And I feel like it can be like that with just like the concept of masculine and feminine, not through the lens of like a man has to be with a woman or anything. But just like within all of us individually. Yeah, it's like people. I think it's Like if someone's really drawn to like the divine masculine, divine feminine through the lens of like it's me and another person playing out those separate roles.
My twin flame.
I'm like, you're missing out. Like you're like missing the point. It's like it could be a framework you could use like within yourself, but it's like you don't have to seek the masculine in another person. Like maybe you yourself need. I mean, and the people we're attracted to usually contain things that we want to emulate more of ourselves. So it's frustrating when people see that framework as like, so I'm going to become more feminine, and it's almost just like severing the opposite one off in themselves, which I think is like the opposite of what can truly be useful about like that concept.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah. I guess I just don't see it like an expression of masculinity, an objective expression of masculinity or femininity that seems just this like objectively good and transcendent.
Yeah. That's
just
just
doesn't
like,
really exist. So it's like, how useful is that term versus just masculine or feminine?
Oh, like the word divine.
Yeah. Like, why do we do that?
I guess that's my beef. Yeah. The divine.
The divine feminine.
It's like, okay, so it's like a holier version of.
Yeah. And it's maybe harder for me as a person who like loves and feels very androgynous and playful in gender. And like there are some people who feel like very strongly gendered, and that can be cis people as well as trans people, and that's valid too.
Yeah.
But divine, you're divine, whatever it is.
Yeah. Divine feline and divine canine.
That's really the two genders. And I am a divine feline, obviously.
Same, obviously.
Divine canines, we love you too. Divine. We need you. Just like we need a little dash of conservatism.
Yeah, I'm not
too much change too fast.
I'm not talking about the political environment as we see it today. But
Sure.
Like the core concepts of like liberalism and conservatism.
Yeah. Too much change too fast is destabilizing.
Yeah.
But
it's coming anyway.
Yeah, so might as well.
Either way, you get there.
I want to be a divine bird. So yeah, you're describing my pride outfit. That's kind of what I want to look like. It's just like a divine bird, like a biblically, not a biblically accurate.
Are you gonna wear the wings again?
Not the same wings, I don't think. I think I want to try new wings.
New wings.
Yeah.
Wings era.
Maybe like gold
wings. Of voice.
Wings of voice, yeah. I mean, either want to do like an Olympian kind of thing, like gold rollerblades, gold wings, or fairy, kind of earth fairy. I don't know. We'll see what Facebook Marketplace turns up, what kind of crafts find their way to me.
Yeah. If you listen to the waves, nothing matters what anyone is saying. Yeah. Yep. I feel icky when I missed the previous bit.
Maybe about divinity, probably.
Oh yeah, I think we can all agree that the phrase divine masculine, divine feminine is just a bit like
this masculinity is divine.
Like, do we need to make it there? Why are we taking it there?
It's actually very terrestrial, super terrestrial, in fact.
Yeah.
This masculinity could not be more earthy.
I am so woman that it's divine. Like I am so my gender that it's divine. Like what? That's like such a the obsession with like gender and in spirituality is just like, guys, what? To use a gendered term, guys, what?
Maybe for child rearers, there's a long honored tradition and wisdom that's kind of handed down that becomes part of the like spiritual instruction. That is
true. That like evolutionary. Well, it's not as true as we tend to think of it as, but like yeah, like women who are mothers were like, again, we were talking earlier about like the types of conversations and how it would usually be women that were talking and exchanging information during the day. You can see how like we got it, like you can, I don't remember why I started this point, to be honest. What were you just saying?
Divine.
Oh, you were saying like child rearers, there's a time on it. Yeah, like there are, you could see cultures where like each gender generally possesses different types of knowledge and skills.
Yeah, and like a celebration of that distinct role.
Divine fluoride.
Divine fluoride.
Divine dentist.
The happy dentist. Against all made up statistics and odds.
God, who's got a stage 6 dentist? Send us their information.
We know a stage 6 dentist. And Jason, if you're watching, we love you. Man, I can't wait to get to the dentist. I actually should do that soon.
Maybe I reluctantly will as well.
Oh my God, are we all scheduling our dream dental appointment?
Guys, if you need a cleaning, let's book it. Let's all check our insurance, see if it's covered.
See, Prue, I'm with you. I like the word sacred. I think that's different than divine. Divine is like kind of casting this transcendent, otherly
the transcendence
value,
rather than embodiment.
Whereas sacred is like a reflection of my personal affection toward a thing, how precious and individual something is.
That's really true.
So I dig the word choice. It's a good journal prompt I've done a couple times. Like, what is sacred to me? Like, what am I holding precious? And a good thing to ask other people.
Well, that's what I love about Mary Oliver poems. Except it's all like, we don't all live on a beautiful pond, girl. But the message carries and applies.
But maybe that's the takeaway, is like, get to that pond. I could be ponding more often. I'm pond fond.
Yeah.
But a river, really. Just dipping in a river. So cathartic.
So elite, yeah. Isn't it funny that you can swim in a reservoir with no life jacket and that's not illegal? But if you're on a paddleboard, which many would say is a flotation device, then it's different.
That is actually pretty wild.
I know.
So you should have just hopped off and then...
Yeah, if I was just swimming, doing something objectively less safe. But there's a lot of laws like that just don't make sense.
I didn't know I was in business with a seasoned criminal.
Yeah.
The season being summer. What did you just at?
Nothing really.
Any other summer adventures planned?
Not really. I was supposed to go home to England, but I'm not now.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I guess we're going to Iceland in September.
We sure are. I'm ready to have my life changed.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get that Scandinavian glow up.
Yeah. Should we hang up the live stream?
Yep.
I'm giving nothing. So I don't want to put you through this anymore.
Time to shelf your elf.
Yeah. I'm going to keep wearing these ears though.
It's nice, huh?
Wait, are these mine now? Or...
They're yours.
Oh my God, yes.
Happy Gemini season.
I can look like this every day if I want.
You can.
No one can
Sometimes
stop
I
me.
do. I'll just pop them on and I'm like, this is how I'm doing today.
Oh my God, I'm going to get a litter box in my classroom now.
We could do just like a casual elf shoot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drag everyone into elf shoots. All right.
I'm not opposed. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Love you guys.
Love
Always
you
a
all.
pleasure streaming with you. The dream stream. And hopefully you stay out of my dreams. Ray, I'm talking specifically to you.
Ray, get out. You've colonized our minds enough. Just kidding. You're a welcome presence. Bye, Fernando. Thank you for watching over the stream.
Good night, moon. Good night, porridge. Good night, bowl full of mush. Good night, end stream. Love you all. Hope you have